Hello everyone, I just wanted to introduce these readings in terms of a collective sort of introduction. I'm going to be doing mini relationship and romance readings for all 12 signs. And they are mini readings. I'm not going to be intuiting too much. Just going to let these little scat cards do the talking. If you're wondering what scat cards are, they're a deck of 32 cards. They are only cord cards, and they are from the pip cards from 7 up. Okay, not 7 up the drink, but 7 increasing up. And this little deck of 32 cards is just going to give us some indications as to what's going on around the signs. And then I'm going to complete each reading with a major arcana from the Gilded Tarot. I pulled out the majors just to give it a capstone, give it like a larger arcing message to the end of the reading, because they are short, sweet, to the point. If I sound indifferent, that's not my intention. It's just that I'm blasting through these readings and I am letting the cards do the work rather than trying to go into the deep recesses of the intuitive mind for these particular readings, okay? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Sorry for my dirty table, you guys. Welcome all to this little moment in space and time in this channel, and on with your reading. Hello, Taurus. Always a pleasure to read cards for you. This is a mini romance and relationship reading for September 2017. Mini romance and relationship reading for Taurus for September 2017. Thanks, Taurus, for all your support on the monthly readings. It was amazing to see you guys click in with so many views and so many comments. I always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Doesn't matter which these come out. I'm not really like intuiting very much. I'm letting the cards tell the story for these relationships. All right, let's start out. What do we got here? We've got the singles. We've got single Tauruses saying, all right, it doesn't really matter. I sense some indifference in this card. I sense some indifference within you guys. It's kind of like, man, if my partner isn't going to shake up, I'm just going to let them be, right? Or if I'm single and it's like I'm not in a position, or people aren't, coming my way at present time, it's like, man, who cares, right? This card is the feeling is that you guys are finding your happiness through either self-love, other endeavors, projects. You're pouring your heart into things that may not be relationships at this time, okay? But don't let it stress you out. If you're feeling alone, or if you're feeling burdened by a partner's indifference at this time, you gotta do your best to brush it off, to just say, all right, that's somebody else's deal. That's somebody else's problem. Whatever problems are yours, if you're holding on or carrying them on to them too tight, you've got to do some letting go, is the feeling I have here, Taurus. And as well, it's like if you feel like there's so much invested and there's so much that you have to feel like you have to do, don't let it turn into lack mentality. Just remember to be in a certain amount of acceptance each day of the way things are, the way they are. If you're in a long-term relationship and your loving partner is across the room and maybe they're crocheting or watching NASCAR, it's just like, yeah, let them be. And it's like you can love them from afar, and you can go and do some inner work and love yourself from within, and see how that reflection in your partner changes, especially if they're in a time they're unaware, if they've been maybe just watching too much TV, or maybe they've been spending too much time at the office, or maybe they something like that, right? Okay, now as well, because there is a situation when this problem is approached for Tauruses that are in relationships, it's like there's defensiveness that comes up, Sometimes people get easily butthurt, or your partner might just be like, I do not want to talk about that. And it's like, well, at one point in time, of course, you were obviously open with others, or with each other, and able to talk about some of these things. So if you're feeling like your partner's closed off, or you or yourself are closed off to your partner at this time, it's kind of like just acknowledge it and move on. Do the inner work so things can change, all right? And, maybe you need to go out and do or find something inspiring that can bring you together once again, okay? Because I feel like there's a lot of you, for this, whoever this is applying to, that it's like there's reasons you fell in love. There were some commonalities, some bonds, some togetherness, things you did that made you happy to be with one another because there was that other activity that was involved, right? Or maybe that community. Now, I got to mention these double sevens far apart in terms of their suits of feminine and masculine. For those of you where you feel like in long-term relationships where things are not very, very fluid. They're not very maybe good right now. It's like, this is from a perspective, it's like you have to remember, if 7 years time has gone by, you're dealing probably with somebody who has changed fundamentally from the root chakra up. It doesn't take more than 7 years for new understandings to take root, to physiologically change a being, a person, a human being. So it's kind of like, these are the things like that you might be bringing into your awareness. Is like, old Bob on the couch sure isn't the, Rav tennis player that I fell in love with so long ago, right? Or like, old Betty Sue maybe is like, had too much cake and, doesn't go hiking with me as much anymore. That kind of, whatever side of the gender coin you're on, it's like somebody might be falling short of expectations, and you kind of like, there's this indifference that could be occurring about it, okay? So try and work on relationships, try and work on communication, and try and work on your understanding that, things are the way they are for a reason. We're always waking up. We're always becoming aware of these things. I wish I had a lot better news for you, Taurus. These cards have come up a little bit low and a little bit sticky in terms of the energy. I said I wasn't going to intuit, but it's impossible, when you're reading cards. So, the Star and the Wheel of Fortune. When you wish upon a star. So destiny and wish fulfillment as your best path to follow here. Some of you, I think, are just going to be saying to yourself, this is a time for me. This is a time where relationships have a place in my life. They don't have to be my entire life. And some of you could just be coming to that realization. Or as well, some of you may be saying, you may be weighing a bigger choice here. It's like, if I decide to move on, or if they decide to move on, or if we mutually decide to part ways, what's it all going to mean in regards to love? And so, if you're dealing with that, or you're facing that, start your wishful thinking now. Start constructing your George Clooney or your Jennifer Aniston right now in your own mind, so that you can, whatever it might be for you, that, you're not feeling that, somebody's taking something away from you, but it's actually leading you to more awareness, more progression, more wholesomeness through whatever it is that you're going through. Okay. Love you all, Taurus. I'm going golfing.